Very quickly today, I want to talk to you about the Infinix Note 50 Pro. It has 8GB of RAM as base, and you can actually expand it to 13GB with an extra 5GB with extended RAM. The phone also has a 1440p screen, which has a 144Hz refresh rate for gamers. So if you're trying to play anything like CODM or some sort of fight game, this would be excellent for you. A 5200 mAh battery that actually charges with a 90-watt fast charge brick that comes inside of the box. Lightning fast. They even give you the cable for this, so you're not missing out on any accessories. You even get USB-C earphones inside of the box. But see, I could keep talking about specs. What I would rather talk about though is how this phone compares to my iPhone 16 Pro Max when it comes to the design and the durability of the phone. I paid 3 million naira for this phone, by the way. This one is only 354,000 naira. And also compare it to my Galaxy S25 Plus and see how the phone actually fares in comparison. Let's talk about it. Unlike most phones at this price point, you might notice something really peculiar about the design of this phone. Aside the very obvious color purple, which is not something you get on a lot of phones these days, right? Just from the purple alone, they've already won. I'm a huge sucker for purple. Purple used to be my favorite color, so I love it. But the part that really impresses me is the metal frame design that this phone actually possesses. It has a completely metal frame, sort of like what I get with my iPhone 16 Pro Max and my Galaxy S25 Ultra. So I know that when this phone falls, if it falls, because I will not let it fall, on its edges or anything, the phone is completely safe and is super durable. Beyond that, it's just also kind of nice when you look at the way the colors and the edges and the bands just kind of wrap around the phone. The finishing is like a matte metallic finish. It's really, really nice. And if you keep looking around it, you can see the sound by JBL, which gives you excellent quality speakers inside of this phone. Now, of course, during the unboxing experience of this phone, the very most obvious thing that jumps out at you is the 90 watts that's written on this charge brick. It's not something you usually get. And this is something I've noticed with a lot of Infinix phones recently. They've been investing very heavily in charging technology, and it shows because they're the only ones that are actually putting these types of charge bricks inside of their phone boxes. But the phone itself also has to be able to handle the charge brick and be able to take advantage of the power that this charge brick is able to provide, which is why I'm very grateful for this phone. Let's start with the fact that even if you don't have the charge brick, maybe you misplace it or you break it, it's capable of 30 watts of wireless charging. So something that my 3 million naira iPhone cannot do, and even my Samsung phone cannot do, this phone can do out of the box, just like that. So maybe I'm in a hurry and I have my 90-watt charger with me, right? My phone is low, I need to step out of the house, but I can't take my charger with me. I can actually charge this phone from 0 to 50 in mere minutes, like super easy, barely an inconvenience. I don't have to sit around waiting just because I need my phone to be charged up so I can go out. And then I don't have to worry about my phone charging because this phone actually also manages the battery well. Let's move to the part where gamers are actually going to absolutely love this phone. Beyond the look and the design of the phone and the metal frame and the way that it handles, especially for games when you're playing like CODM, this phone actually has something called bypass charging, which means you can actually plug your 90-watt fast charger to the phone and it doesn't eat up the phone, because a lot of people complain about their phones getting hot when they're gaming, right? Which I suppose is normal. A lot of phones get really warm to the touch or even too hot to handle that some people will be putting pure water, putting it inside freezer. I'm not looking at your iPhones, just so that you'll be able to game with your phones. But with this one, you never have to worry about that, because with the bypass charge, the charge or the power from the charger is sent directly to the motherboard and it doesn't have to pass through the battery first. That way, it can stay cool and maintain its temperature, and the phone can continue to perform well while you enjoy your gaming experience without it interfering with anything. Even if your battery was low before you started gaming, you wouldn't have to worry about it. And of course, with the Helio G100 Ultimate chipset, which actually supports gaming and helps you improve your gaming experience, you never have to worry about any lags or anything. Your phone is not going to give you any problems, it's not going to eat up, and it's not going to lag. Now, of course, it's big 2025. What would be the point of having an Android phone or even a smartphone of any kind that doesn't have AI? I'm looking at you, Apple Intelligence. The world is moving forward and everybody needs an AI assistant that can help them with a lot of things, whether that be call summary, whether that be summarizing pages that you're reading because you don't want to read the whole thing, it's too long. Everybody needs a phone that actually has AI that helps them solve many of these problems. So basically like your personal virtual assistant, but it lives in your pocket. And that's one of the things that Infinix has done very well with the Note 50 series. With the Note 50 Pro in my hand, I actually have access to the Flagship AI with just one tap, like so. And I can ask it anything. For example,
the question of whether water is wet is a complex one, sparking debate across scientific, philosophical, and linguistic fields. There's no single definitive answer.
And if I'm too lazy to actually read the responses that the AI is going to give me, it will be willing to read it out to me in an understandable accent that actually works for me without me having to struggle to understand exactly what it's saying. But here, my 3 million naira brick still cannot do this. I don't know, it just doesn't seem fair to me. Now, this phone has a 50 megapixel f1.9 sensor that's actually optically image stabilized. Of course, it takes really decent photos even when your hand is a little shaky. But the best part about this is the phone actually has an AI cam that actually adjusts the photos that you take. So after you take a photo, by the time you go back into your gallery and look at it, you see that it's processing that photo, making it look better with a lot of computational orishi. You know, this is technology, and the photos look absolutely fantastic. The selfie camera on this is also 32 megapixels f2.2, and it takes really decent photos outside especially as well. And when I'm in a studio like this that actually has decent lighting, the photos are also really good. For video, this phone can actually shoot HDR video up to 1440p at 30 frames per second on the back camera, and it can shoot 1080p for the selfie cameras at 30 frames per second, which for social media uploading, this is probably more than enough, right? Now, I already talked about the JBL speakers. When you're consuming content on like Netflix, or you're watching YouTube videos, or you're just listening to music but you don't have headphones or anything in, the tuned JBL speakers actually make it sound fantastic. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to talk about with charging with this phone. I talked about the fact that it has a 90-watt fast charge that can charge you to 50% or even 100% in mere minutes. I talked about the fact that this phone can charge wirelessly with 30 watts of wireless charging, which is not something I have on any other phone that I own. But did you know that this phone can actually charge your other devices at 10 watts, which again is higher than all the other devices I own? As a matter of fact, I have a 3 million naira brick that cannot even reverse wirelessly charge. I'm out and about and my earbuds are dying. I can straight up use my phone, flip down like this to recharge my earbuds. My other phone is dying. I can use my phone to recharge my other phone. At the end of the day, value is the most important thing. And when you have a phone at this price point that actually packs so much value and gives you access to things that even your significantly more expensive phones are not giving you, you have to then stop and think again. Why exactly would I want to spend way more money on a phone when I can get this one that does literally everything? One tap AI with a button on the side of the phone, right? A 50 megapixel AI camera. You also get 144 Hz refresh rate on your screen as opposed to 60 Hz on phones that cost 10 times the price. I want to think about it. What excuse would anybody have to actually not buy a phone like this when they go into the market with that kind of budget? Even if you intended to buy something slightly more expensive from a different brand, this is a genuine contender for one of the best looking, nicest, best value for money phones in the year 2025 so far. At least so far, I haven't seen any other phone company do a phone at this price point that does all of this for me. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I guess I will see you on another video that was shot by Kagan. You're welcome.